Ever since I started this YouTube channel about a year ago, some of my most popular videos have been my top dividend stock picks of the month. I can't believe it's already been a whole year already since that first video in that series back in April 2020. So many other YouTubers have similar videos out there where they present their opinions on certain stocks and why you should buy them, right? There's a bunch of videos out there similar to that. So is there a follow-up usually after that though? Were they right? Were they wrong? We don't really know in most cases. I think that's a shame and quite cowardly if you ask me, because there's barely any follow-up after that. So that is why I decided that it would be fair to all my viewers to revisit my old stock picks to actually find out if they were good picks or not. So I decided to start a brand new monthly series that I think will complement my monthly stock pick videos nicely. So in this series, I will go back and revisit my stock picks of the month 1 year ago and check out how the stock is doing 1 year later. So it's time to review my stock picks for the month of April 2020. It's been a year, so let's revisit those stock picks. We'll see how the stock is doing now. Was I right? Was I wrong? I will not only check the share price, but also the status of the dividend, which is even more important for passive income focused investors like us. So did the dividend stay the same? Did it increase? Was it reduced? Or was it suspended or canceled altogether? So let's find out together. So here are my 5 picks for April 2020 with the old school PowerPoint presentation. Really cool to see. I promise it will get nicer with time as the months go on. So pick number 1 in the aerospace and aviation industry was EIF, Exchange Income Corporation. So this is really a company that buys manufacturing companies in the aviation or aerospace sector. They have multiple companies, they buy them and they give out their profits in dividends to the shareholders. So really interesting concept. So when I chose this one for April, at the end of March 27, the stock price was $19.87, which would give you a dividend yield of 11.47%. Pick number 2, also in the aviation and aerospace sector, was Chorus Aviation, stock symbol CHR. So this is a global provider of integrated regional aviation solutions. So their biggest brand is the Jazz brand, which they operate for Air Canada. It's like a smaller brand for regional flights around Canada. So on March 27, this one really took a beating. I think it was like an $8 stock. It went to $3.32 a share, which was giving a dividend yield at that on March 27th of 14.46%. So really, really crazy. We'll see how that one panned out. My third pick, third and fourth and even fifth, focuses on the energy sector. No surprise, right? Oil and gas completely tanked during the coronavirus because everyone thought, no one's going to travel. There's no cars on the road. So oil prices took a huge tumble. So my first pick is Canada's biggest energy company, Enbridge. We all love Enbridge, stock symbol ENB. So this is not an oil and gas producer. It's a midstream company. So they take care of the transportation of oil and natural gas, not the production or the exploration of gas. So a little bit safer in terms of that. So the stock, the share price on March 27th was $38.37, which was giving a dividend yield of 8.44%. Pick number 4 is Keyera. This also is, I call it like a mini Enbridge. This is also a midstream. It's not an oil and gas producer. So like my description says, it's really the transportation, the processing, and the storage of energy products, oil and natural gas. So this one really took a beating. On March 27th, 2020, it was trading at $12.19 a share, giving a dividend yield of 15.75, pretty crazy, whereas the 52-week high was $36, so less than half. I mean, this one really took a tumble. And finally, my last pick is an ETF that has 20 of the biggest energy companies in the world. So it's HPF, the Harvest Energy Leaders ETF by Harvest. So on March 27th, it was trading at $1.90 per share, giving a dividend yield of 18.95%. So how did these picks do? Well, let's check out the report card that I created for all these picks to see how they are right now as of April 1st, 2021, exactly 1 year later. All right, so here is the small little report card I created. Let's start with Exchange Income Corporation. So it was 1987, and 1 year later, 41.44, an increase of 108%. So obviously a very, very good pick. but in terms of share price. But what about the dividend status? Well, I'm happy to announce that it's completely unchanged. It did not miss a beat in terms of the dividend, which is absolutely amazing, even considering that this is a company that deals with, that owns companies rather in the aerospace and aviation industry. That just goes to show the power of diversification. That's what they said while commenting about the performance of this during the COVID-19. They're saying that the diversification really helped them. They own not only like little plane companies, but also glass companies and anything to do, a lot of other stuff that have to do with diversified, really manufacturing type of stuff. So this was definitely a good pick. You got a higher price and a dividend completely unchanged with no misses. So definitely a great pick. Chorus Aviation, although it went from 332 to 462, an increase of 39%, which is really good for a year, they actually suspended or canceled their dividend altogether. So that is why here, and I didn't put yes for a good pick. I put neutral because, at least the stock went up significantly, but the dividend was suspended. So I'm not going to say it was a bad pick. I'm not going to say it was a good pick either, because this is the passive income investing channel. So obviously the dividend being suspended is a pretty big deal, even if the stock price went up almost 40%. Enbridge is now from 38 and went to 46 after a year. So an increase of 20%, really nice. And here's the great news: they even raised their dividend. So not only was the dividend unchanged, but even better, they increased it. So yes, definitely a great pick. Higher price, higher dividend. Kiera, same story, or not the same story. Well, the price went up astronomically at $12 and went back to $26. So you would have made a 117% increase. And I'm happy to announce that the dividend, although they didn't raise it, it remained unchanged. So they haven't missed a beat. This is a monthly dividend. Enbridge is quarterly. So Kiera has not missed a monthly dividend since. So definitely a great pick. Higher price and dividend unchanged with no dividend misses. And the last pick is the Harvest Energy Leaders ETF. So this one went from $1.90 to $2.72 in April 1st. 2021. So a really nice increase of 43%. The only thing is that they did lower their dividend or distribution rather, because it's an ETF, by 66%. So it was 3 cents a month, and starting, I believe, at the beginning of 2021 or December 2020, I can't remember, it went from 3 cents to 1 cent. So they reduced their dividend by 66%. Which I knew a distribution reduction was coming. You can't hold a 18% yield. It's just ridiculous. But I thought maybe they would cut it in half, but they cut it by 2/3. So unfortunately, it's now giving like about 5% yield. But I would still say that this is a good pick, because they didn't suspend it altogether like Chorus Aviation. They only reduced it by a lot rather, but taking into account that you would have made a 43% increase in share price, I consider this one a good pick as well. So there you have it, guys. All my stock picks for April 2020 were pretty good picks if you ask me. But to be honest, it's not really a surprise, right? It's quite easy to be a good stock picker during a market crash or during high volatility. So it's pretty obvious that I focused on two of the hardest hit sectors of the market crash because of COVID-19, the aviation and energy sectors, which turned out to be a really good value play. So keep in mind that back then, I was still investing heavily in individual companies or individual stocks. But as the months went on my personal investing journey, and after the lessons that I learned during the March and April crash, I started going away from individual companies altogether, and now they make up a very small portion of my portfolio, and will only get smaller with time. So as we go on forward in time, there will be less and less individual stocks on my stock picks list, but we'll go through them anyways to see how they performed nonetheless. So if ever you want to know the important lessons that I learned during the 2020 stock market crash that made me do this strategy pivot, make sure to check out a video that I made on exactly that. Many people are already fearing the next market crash, so watch that video to see what I learned and how I pivoted my strategy to be better prepared for the next crash. So the banner to that video or the link should be appearing on your screen right now. So as always, please support me. Please support this channel by hitting that like button. It's free for you. It helps the channel out, so it's a win-win. Also, make sure to check out my website, passiveincomeinvesting.ca, where you could buy my digital product, the Ultimate Dividend Passive Income Investing Package, all the stocks you ever need to build your own portfolio. Also on my website, you could book a one-on-one video consultation with me personally if ever you want me to answer your questions, review your portfolio, help you to build a new one. I'll do my best to and my utmost to help you every way I can. It's very easy to book an appointment, guys. It's right there on the homepage. There's a big calendar. You just got to find an open spot and book it. So I'm already full for April and May. I'm starting to take appointments in June. So sorry for the delay, but you could go ahead and make your appointments for June. And finally, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on my future content and community posts as well on passive income investing. It's all designed to help you on your investing journey. We're also on Instagram. We're also on Facebook. Our Facebook group is growing. We're over 200 members now. So please join our community if you use Facebook, where we all could share our ideas and conversations there about our investing journey. Our mission remains the same, guys. It's to help everyday working people to invest on their own in order to build their own stream of passive income, which will enhance their quality of life. So with that, take care, guys. Stay safe, get vaccinated as soon as it's your turn, and see you next time.